We're going live on TikTok at the same time. We'll get this started here shortly. All right. As people get here, we will chat about this. What I will say for those of y'all coming in here, please give that number and email address a call so you can let them know how wrong what they're doing is. Hey everyone, how is y'all's night going? I am also on YouTube for anybody who is interested. I have some information posted up on there that we're going to talk about tonight a little bit, but hopefully everybody's having a good Monday night. Today's been a very busy day overall. Hello, Andrea. How are you? Hi, Michelle. Hi, is it Felicia? Hi, Felicia. Hi, Mary. Max, everybody, Dina. Hope y'all are having a pet with your pet pig. That's pretty awesome. So I want to talk. I'm gonna as we get some more people here. I want to talk about kind of what happened today. I don't know if any of y'all were on earlier, and I want to specifically talk about Tennessee today because there's a lot going on there, and I know that the news outlets have really been covering a lot with Donald Trump's flying from Florida to New York and the indictment tomorrow, which I do plan to be streaming. That being said, I want to talk about kind of what's been going on here. So, um, for those of y'all who didn't see earlier, I was at the protest today in Tennessee. I was curious. I went down, and I'll be honest, I support what these kids are doing. This was a student-run protest. I spoke to students from both Vanderbilt and Belmont, which are both incredibly good school. And I will tell you guys, I'm on YouTube as well, and there is some information on YouTube that y'all might want. I can try to put them on here as well. But no, we're definitely going to talk about Tennessee. So first of all, what I will say is the protest was very peaceful. There was a lot of people out there. Everybody was totally cool. I think Gen Z is going to save all of us. My wife likes to say millennials walked so Gen Z could run, and maybe that's partially true. But yeah, they were pretty impressive young individuals. The organizer of today's event started her first protest when she was 13 years old, so really quite impressive. But basically, what this has kind of turned into was three, maybe four representatives actually came down there and were speaking with the protesters out there, and nothing was they're saying on the news seditious. It was not. I was there. I saw it. If y'all have seen the video of Representative Justin Jones talking to the camera, he is a representative from Nashville. I was literally, you can see him on the camera. I'm like, I am over here. I saw that happened. I saw them recording it. I made sure that I was not in the camera shot because I didn't want to be. But I was up there for it. So I know what they were talking to. I even spoke to a couple of representatives myself, and nobody was being seditious. They had apparently last week after the shooting had expressed their opinions. And from there, they got their mics cut off. They were not being recognized by the speaker. And then today they were basically looking at being expelled on Thursday. Is when the vote can take place. But at this point, they've revoked parking access. Their badges aren't working. They're not being recognized, and the likelihood of them being expelled is very, very high. Now, here's the thing about that, and I would be making the same video if it was reversed. So, meaning that if it was Democrats trying to do the same thing to Republicans, because here's the thing. Y'all know that I don't get into Democrat Republican stuff. I will talk about certain issues, but here's the thing. My beliefs are that both parties suck for the most part. Most representatives have one job, and that's to get reelected. That is my opinion. But I do believe in American democracy, meaning that if somebody was elected, Democrat or Republican, then they were elected, whether people like it or not. And so what I'm saying is the fact that they are by shutting down these three representatives, they're shutting down their entire districts, all of their constituents, and that is not okay in any way. Again, you don't have to like Democrats, you don't have to like Republicans. That's fine, but it doesn't mean that if they were duly elected, went through the process, won the vote of these people, they represent their local districts, then you shouldn't be able to silence those districts. Is it legal to remove them from their elected office? Not technically, but they're using it under the guise of sedition, which they did not do. Now, what I will say for everybody who's on here, if y'all want to do something with this, and here's what I can tell you, and I can try to give you the information. I am on YouTube live as well, Justin on TikTok, and I have a banner there. The speaker is Cameron Sexton. It's got his phone number and his email address. If y'all wanted to call and leave him a message or shoot him an email, y'all can do that. I left him a message tonight saying, who I was, that I was, aside from being, a Tennessee resident and a constituent, that I am also a large social media creator, and that if they went through with this, that I would make sure to use my platform to try to expose it as much as I could, to ensure that they are expelled come re-election. And that's basically on these actions, because they're not correct. So again, I don't think if it was Democrats or Republicans, either way, it doesn't mean that you can do it. So nope, I'm not banned for the moment. So anyways, if y'all want that information, it's Speaker Cameron Sexton. I'll tell y'all the phone number. It's I don't hopefully TikTok. If you want to reach out to the speaker in Tennessee and tell them how what they're doing is wrong and express your opinions, 615-741-2343. That is the business line for his office at the Capitol. He also has an email, speaker.cameron.sexton@capitol.tn.gov. Those are on the YouTube. You can see them if you want to go log in there. But I would encourage y'all to do that, because here's the thing. It's not a Democrat. This, whether you are Democrat or Republican, this is not a Democrat or Republican thing. This is a democracy thing. Oh, Nathan, you are always problematic. See, Nathan, here's the problem. I was going to block you, but I'm not going to. Here's the problem. You're saying they're Democrats. Why would you want them back in? I would be making the same video if it was Democrats trying to do it with Republican. By you making that statement, Nathan Walder, it means that you do not. We can talk about Florida in a little bit. Yes, I did. By you making that statement, Nathan Walder, what you're saying is that you do not believe in American democracy at all. It means that you believe in your one side instead of both sides. If Republicans were elected into a district, then that is their district, and the people who elected them deserve to have their voices heard. And if a Democrat was elected into their district, that means that's who the constituents of that district wanted, and their voices deserve to be heard. That's when you have to stop with this whole partisan thing and recognize the fact that this is America. What is my side? Nobody knows. And I keep it that way because my side does not matter. I am on the side of democracy. I have the only thing that I will speak of from a political perspective is, or from a political perspective is, I will speak about certain issues that I have feelings on, but I will not speak on actual candidates in my personal feelings, because as a creator with over 1 million followers, it is not my place to use my platform to, in my opinion, to sway people on who you should or shouldn't vote based on my personal opinions. That being said, when the issue is bigger and it's more of a widespread issue, when we're talking, then I will give my opinion on that. But that's about it. But my point is, I'm on the side that answer the question of democracy. I don't care if it's Republican. I don't care if it's Democrat. If they were elected into that position, into that office, then their constituents deserve that voice that they chose to elect. It's very simple. So, I have not really, with everything that's been going on in Tennessee, Georgia, I have not even begun to look at the Lori Vallow case, the Daybell case. So anyways, I was going to block Nathan because he likes to come into my stuff, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go ahead and just explain that. So yeah, exactly. This should be concerning, because here's the thing. Just because it might be going the way that Republicans want it now doesn't mean that couldn't switch, and it could start doing things that Republicans wouldn't like. It's the exact same thing. You don't have to like the Democrats. You don't have to like the Republicans. You don't have to like either one of them, but you have to recognize that representatives are being expelled for really no reason whatsoever. And that's not okay. Again, regardless of what side you're on. And if you are a true patriot, as people want to say, then you have to recognize the fact that a duly elected official is a duly elected official. And it's that simple. So, and I think that by doing what they're doing, they're playing a very dangerous game, because look, Gen Z is the fuck around and find out generation. They vote, they care, they don't give a shit about what the old way of life is. And you know what? If they want to mess around with this, they're going to find out. And what I saw today was a lot of very intelligent kids out there exercising their First Amendment right. That is what I saw. And when I did this live earlier, we got up to 2,500 people in it. And there were a lot of people saying, these people don't have jobs. They don't do this. They're just students. They're this, they're that. there's the thing. Vanderbilt and Belmont, which is where most of these students were from, are incredibly great schools. I could not get into either of those schools, and they're both incredibly expensive schools. So it's not like these are people that have nothing better to do with their time. They find that as a generation, and I don't know how many young people I have in here, how many Gen Zs are in here, or younger. Um, Nobody tried to storm the Capitol, Nathan. I was there. You can keep believing it. I was physically there, and it was incredibly peaceful. Nathan, you are out of control. You are absolutely absurd. You clearly don't care about democracy. You care about one side, which means that you are a communist. You care about your one side, and that's about it. So we're going to go ahead and mute you for the duration of the live because we're not going to deal with people who don't understand and respect democracy, which you obviously do not. Yes, I know I wore this all day today. I got compliments on it. We're not going to listen to Nathan anymore because Nathan does not know what he is talking about. But anyway, so yeah, Belmont and Vanderbilt students, incredibly intelligent students. That what I was starting to say, if Gen Z who's in here tonight, look, I graduated high school class of 2000. Okay, I am 40 years old. I will be 41 this year, and I was a junior in high school when Columbine happened. Okay, and that shook us to the core for a lot of reasons. But we felt at that time, for those of y'all who remember, it says don't argue with idiots on the internet. As you can see, I do not follow my own advice. Anyways, we thought that it was a one-time thing. And ever since then, I'm thank you guys for calling sex. I'm going to circle back to that in about a second. It's gotten worse every single year. There have been 200. I know I'm definitely a millennial. I'm an elder millennial. I was born in 82. I'm a millennial, 100%. Since 1998, which was actually the year before Columbine, there have been 248 school shootings. Okay, 248, and it's not getting better. It's not getting better. But here's the thing: these younger generations, Gen Z, like for those of y'all who are in here, I want y'all to speak up when I say this. How many of their entire educational academic career has been fraught with active shooter drills the way that we used to do earthquake and tornado drills? That is what their entire childhood has gone. So you're having kids, kindergartners, who have to go through school wondering if they're going to get shot. 7-year-olds coming home saying, there was one of my followers recently in one of my comments, their 7-year-old after what happened at Covenant School here said, if I die, please bring my toys to my grave. These are not things that children should be having to listen to and go through and deal with. Yeah. So Chelsea, born in 98, did you have to deal with this? Okay. Y'all are all saying this. All of y'all who went through this, they don't know a life. And so for everybody who is older, like my age and older, yeah, I am in Nashville. I am. I was actually at the protest today. It's just for everybody my age and older, we did not have to deal with this. So we can sit back and say, everybody can sit back and say, hey, it wasn't like this, or, they're overacting. No, they're not. To go to school every day and not know if you're going to come home, to have parents drop their kids off and not know if they're going to come home, it's not fair to this you're traumatizing an entire generation. Yep, I remember the trench coat bands too. I mean, not in 83, but you're born in 83. Yeah, the trench coats, because Dylan Klebold and the other guy, I forget his name. I'll just say the Columbine shooters. We don't need to remember their names. They were the trench coat mafia. So all of a sudden, trench coats had to go, and a lot of the people, like the goths back then and stuff, wore trench coats. Back in the 90s and early 2000s. What are you? You're a millennial, Brianna. You're a youngish millennial, but you're a millennial. So for everybody, by the way, talking, the stat, well, we'll talk about Florida in a second. So Eric Harris, thank you. Yeah, thank you. That was the name. Yeah, I was a junior. So Candy, you and I are right about the same age. For those of y'all who want to reach out, though, to the Tennessee representatives, I am live on YouTube right now. There are 17 people in that live. It's Justin on TikTok, so it's usually a little bit more chill. Your questions have a tendency and comments to get seen a little bit more. But I also have put up in a banner this Tennessee's House Speaker Cameron Sexton's phone number and email address for people who want to call and email him to explain that expelling 3 democratically elected officials is not an okay thing to do. What was the outcome? At this point, they have not been expelled, Sandy. The vote cannot take place until Thursday, but at this point, they've already cut off badge access, they've cut off voting machines, they've cut off parking access. So I would say that it's pretty safe to bet they're going to expel them. Your friend had to buy the bulletproof backpack for a kid. Yeah, I don't want to send my kid. I have a 3.5-year-old, y'all. And like somebody just said who's in preschool, they own a daycare, that they have to do this for these kids too. I don't want to um I don't want to send my 3-year-old to school and have this conversation. I don't want to do it. You have a 9-year-old. I'm sure you don't want to do it too. This is just the life that they know, and it's not okay. It's just not. How is it even legal for them to spell them? Heather, great question. They're doing it under the guise of that they were seditious, basically almost like an insurrection type of thing. Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Yes, they were kicked off their committees too, like 30 minutes before they were supposed to meet with their committees. So I'm gonna look at the YouTube questions real quick too, because I don't want to ignore my YouTube people. Because like I said, I look at y'all over here too. Yeah, I have all the faith in the world with Gen Z also. It upsets you that's not being covered in the news. I agree. You were a senior during Columbine. Yeah, we had fire drills. We had fire drills, tornado drills, and the occasional earthquake drills. Because I was in Georgia and we didn't really have a thing. Your senior year, you were Parkland, 5th grade with Sandy Hook. Active shooter drills were just more than normal than fire drills. Yeah. I had my daughter 2 days after Columbine High School when it all teams. Yeah, it's terrible. I'm gonna go look this too. So, like I said, all the information's on there for them. Do they have legal representation yet? I'm sure their attorneys on TikTok in Tennessee. Oh, I'm quite sure they're going to get it. Yeah. Yeah, because they support, and that's the thing. When they came out, like I said, I was there. I saw it. If y'all have seen the video of Representative Justin Jones, I was up on those steps when that happened because they started to move people off the steps. And then it was kind of funny. I'm going to be a little narcissistic here for a minute. I said to the person who was moving everybody, I said, look, I'm a creator. I have 1 million followers. If everybody's leaving, where do y'all want me to stand? I don't know if I'm sunburned or it's just the light in here. And she was like, oh, she's like, who are you? And I said, I'm Justin on TikTok. And she goes, oh my gosh, I follow you. Yeah, you can stay here. So I was still up there when all that was happening. Anyways, I saw all of it, is my point. So I would encourage people, especially if you're in Tennessee, to reach out to Speaker Cameron Sexton and say that this is wrong. And, because it is. It's a slap in the face of democracy. It's a slap in the face of constituents, in my opinion. Well, I know it wasn't a problem then, Heather. Again, you and I graduated 3 years after you. And yeah, I mean, it wasn't a problem then, but it is a problem now. My friend was driving through Green Hills last Monday, obviously terrible traffic, and her son asked, doesn't this stuff happen all the time? Shouldn't they be able to clean it up faster? Yeah, that's terrible. Dylan Clayble's mother had an amazing and interesting and heartbreaking TED Talk, though. Yes, Jessica, I have seen Dylan's mom. So Dylan Klebold, for those of y'all who don't know, is one of the shooters from Columbine. His mom has done an amazing talk. I would encourage anybody to see it, to Google it, talking about what it's like to be the parent of one of these people, how they're kind of victims too. And she wasn't being like victimizing like martyr, but she brought up some very interesting points. Yeah, some folks are going to claim the January 6th folks are heroes. People are already claiming the January 6th are heroes. This is a very different situation than January 6th. And I'm not going to give my opinion on January 6th one way or the other. I'm just saying that it's comparing apples to oranges. You're talking about, college kids. I mean, there were high school kids there too. But kids being out there, protesting, not wanting to get killed in schools versus, what January 6th was, which was, I'm just going to leave it at that. But do they prevent firearms from coming to state buildings in Tennessee? I believe that they do. And by the way, while the news has been covering all the Trump stuff today, DeSantis made Florida a permanent list open carry, which Tennessee already is, by the way. Reach out to your local station, ask them why a parked plane is more important. You know what? I think that's a great idea. I'm going to pin that comment. Hold on. There we go. We're pinning that comment. Good comment. These kids were just trying to be heard. They were peacefully singing. They were very peaceful about it. It was a great turnout. Everybody was super respectful. The thing about this generation is they're not really, I mean, obviously there's exceptions to the rules, but for the most part, they are not a violent generation. Have I done anything on the Grant Solomon case? Here's the thing, not yet. Haley, I had planned to talk about it tonight, and then this whole thing with Tennessee's been broken loose. It's like every time I plan to do something, it's something else, you know, like pushes it back. Um, have I seen the Washington Post article about the AR-15 does to the body? No, I have not seen. And we can probably once I calm down this, we can definitely talk in this live about Grant Solomon. Um, I've not seen that post, but I do know that at Uvalde, trigger warning, guys, that some of the children at Uvalde who were hit with AR-15 were unrecognizable at this point. Whose parked plane is referenced? Donald Trump's plane, because he's got his arraignment tomorrow. Yeah, I know news wasn't covering. The thing is, there was a ton of news cameras out there. There's a ton of news cameras out there. What comment, Alexa? So somebody said, reach out to the local news stations about why are they covering basically Trump's parked plane versus some of this other stuff that's going on. Yeah, Jessica, you're absolutely right on that. So what's going on with Congress and TikTok? Any updates? Yes. So I can give you an update. As of right now, Rand Paul has actually blocked it in the Senate. So I think it's temporary, but he basically said that it violates First Amendment rights. The three reps were Jones, Pierce, and Johnson. Exactly. Justin Jones, Justin Pierce, and was it Sue? Is it Sue Johnson or Gloria Johnson? Gloria Johnson. You've already proved while 2A is important as cops failed miserably. I think that what that proved is good guys with guns, you can't rely on them. I think that's what you've already proved. How do I feel about veterans as security guards? Okay, this is a really great question that Jason asked. And I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna pause the comments. Same, Jessica. Um, I'm gonna pause the comments. I actually want to talk about this. So I think that this is a very interesting concept. I think that it's a band-aid for now. My concerns with it is that there. I would want to make sure those vets weren't ones that had PTSD. I mean, obviously, having veterans that are combat trained are good, but for the most part, children don't want to go to school like they're going into a prison every day. I think that it's a good temporary solution to a much larger problem. I think that's the answer I would say about that. At the same time, you're going to have to use taxpayer money to fund this for all the schools to fund veterans being there. When you already have school systems that don't have that make teachers have to purchase a lot of things on their own. So I don't disagree with it as a temporary solution, but I don't think it's a long-term solution, if that makes sense. How long the cops took in Uvalde is infuriating the coach says of kids. Absolutely. Your kids will know what was said and how you acted. 100%. They will. And the thing is, you look at Nashville's cops; they were awesome. What about teachers? I don't think the teachers should be armed at all. Here's the thing about that. This is where I get into this discussion. What jobs require you to take a firearm to work? Does your job? I mean, unless you're a police officer or you're in the military yourself or in one of those three-letter agencies or in security, what job requires you to take a firearm to work? Why should if you don't have to take one to most of your jobs, most adults don't have to take one to their job no matter where they are. Why should kindergartners have to go to a place where their teachers are armed? There was a man arrested for over 1,000, good God, of ammo at a college about an hour from where I lived. That's crazy. And the thing is, as a parent, I haven't seen. Okay, so what's going on Reddit? I haven't seen that. I had somebody threatening me, but I haven't seen what's going on Reddit. Let me look. Talk to me about it. Let me see if I can find it. I had somebody threatening me. I'm gonna find it. I've heard about it, but we both look. My wife and I looked. I can't find it. Okay, I only see it for how to watch news outside. So I don't see anything about me on Reddit Legacy. Oh, I know it's negative. I've been being threatened, and I'll tell you why. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and just address it head on in a live. I'm going to head and address it on a live. So, as we've been talking about all this stuff, one thing that I have admitted on a live because I am fairly transparent with you all, is that I own an AR. Okay, I own one. And when I purchased that gun, I was a very different. I did see it. I want to finish the statement first. This is important. When I purchased that gun, I was a very different person than I am now. And to be very frank with you, I would not agree with myself. I do not agree with what I stood for back then as to what I stand for now. Me now doesn't agree with me then. Um, and so I would actually like to get rid. I don't want that gun. I don't want it anymore. It's everything that we've seen. It's not something that I need. I don't need it for home defense. I don't want it for home defense. And so tonight, today, I actually called the police and I said, hey, if I haven't seen it, I've been told about it. I'm guessing that this is what it's about because I've been threatened. They're going to take down my platform over this, over my hypocrisy. So let's go ahead and just hit it head on. We're going to hit it head on. So I called the police tonight and I said, hey, if I wanted to surrender this firearm, what do I need to do about it? What happens to it? And you know what happens to it if you turn, at least in Tennessee, what happens to your firearm if you turn it in? No, it's okay, Brianna. I'm not worried about it. And I'll come by why I'm not worried about in a second. They sell it. Exactly. Loves America. And here's my point. Exactly. Auction off. Y'all know. If I get rid, I know that with this firearm in my possession, it's literally never been fired. It sits in a locked up cabinet, locked up safe. I know it's okay. I don't want to give it to the police for them to then turn around and sell it. Maybe it was. If not, Legacy, please message me privately on it or email it to me. Justin's on TikTok.com, JUSTINS on TikTok.com, or just message me somewhere because I want to see it. Because then I will report it as well. So the only thing that I can figure out what to do is I was reading and I believe I could surrender it to the ATF. I think that's something that I could do. I did go to the rally, yes. So anyways, my point is that I'm going to own the fact that I have one. And I'm going to own the fact that I don't want it anymore. But at the same time, I'm not going to give it to somebody who's going to then auction it off. If I want to, seriously? They sell them too. I don't know, because I saw that they did destruction. Well, I might still give them a call. I don't know what to do. Then I don't know what to do with it. Then, because I don't want to. Then there's no difference of me than taking it to a pawn shop and selling it at that point. So I don't want it though. I don't want it anymore. Does someone discard separately? That's an option. My husband had one like that when we met. He had it for fun. I asked him to get rid of it. No need. Yeah, I bought it for, I don't know how to destroy. I don't know how to destroy it. I guess I could take it apart and break it down. I guess that is something that I could do. But anyway, so here's the thing. Going back to what I said. So I've had to block several people who are threatening to. They're like, well, we need to see you have a video of you taking it to a police station and handing it in, or you doing this, or you doing that. And here's the thing. First of all, you can't show firearms on TikTok. Number two, you can't walk into a police station with a gun, because they will, shoot you if you do that. That's just a bad idea. Anyways, they're threatening to expose my hypocrisy and like, you're going to lose your platform. Well, look, here's the thing. My platform, talking about this gun violence, my actions speak louder than words, I believe. Again, I've had this gun for a very long time. I never shot it. I don't want it anymore. That's actually a good idea, removing the firing pins. Yeah, well, that's kind of the same thing. I know that I can keep it and keep it locked up, but I don't want it. I don't even want it in the house with my child. I would not use it for home defense. I don't think that there's a need for it. And I mean, here's the thing. I don't agree. The majority of these mass shootings are being done with AR-15s. I'm trying to get rid of my AR, but it's proving a lot more difficult than one could think, because I want to get rid of it in a way that nobody else can have it anymore. Military won't take it because they're semi-automatics. Military has automatics. And the thing is, if the police would take it and use it for themselves, then it would be fine. Yeah, I don't know. I'm sure you could have it melted down. I don't know how to do that though. Well, Well, I had it. I mean, there were school shootings going on when I bought it. I mean, because I remember Columbine happening, and I bought it well after Columbine. But I mean, Columbine, I don't think they used ARs. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's what I'll do. But anyways, my point is, no, the police said that they would auction. I had them. They called me. I spoke to them today. They said that they would sell it and auction it off. But I don't want to sell it for it to end up in somebody else's hands to use it for nefarious purposes. Is my point. But anyway, so these people are threatening to expose me, take for my hypocrisy, take down my video, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. I use my platform to talk about this. I also use my platform to speak out against racism, to speak out in support of women's rights, and to speak out against a lot of injustices. I'm an LGBTQ plus ally, trans ally, and if people want to destroy my platform over that, then so be it. I don't know what the military I don't think would take it. Pour acrylic around and make it into statements. That's actually a very interesting thought. Yeah, I know. That's kind of what my thought was too, to be honest. Like, I think that the majority of people who know me aren't going to buy into this. I don't think that I'm going to get canceled for that because here's the thing: I will own it. Um, um, no pun intended. I will own what I've done. I will own who I was in my past, and you know, I'm not that person anymore. So um, there's something with me just misgendering people too. Yeah, so that's taken very much out of context. So the video that was about, which I also made a correction video on that, explaining what happened and that I need to do better because I have friends that are trans. Um, the first video with the shooter, who we won't name their name because it's not relevant in this national situation, I kept referring to um, them as she, and for a couple of reasons. One is the news was referring to them as she, and two, I thought that it was fairly important to show to really drive home the fact that this was the fourth biological female in history to do a school shooting like this. I thought that was relevant. Although I will say this, being a white male, that is really I mean, I know this is really in poor taste, but doing what this person did is a very typical white male thing to do. So, maybe I should have just used he from the get-go. But what they want to say is that you wouldn't call a black man a name, so you shouldn't misgender. Here's the thing: I've got some very good friends um, on this app who are trans, very good friends. And you know what? Those are the people who I don't want to misgender on. So yeah, I know it's not the first. It's happened 4 times total. I think there was an AR in Tennessee. Let me look. I'm pretty positive it was AR, but I'm going to check. Give me 1 second. I'm like pretty damn positive. I just when somebody says it, I think that I'm wrong. I don't. I just want to make sure if I'm not wrong. Command find AR. All right. Yeah. So hold on. Care promotional order. Yeah. She owned them. Audrey. No, she used an AR. She used an AR in it. This article, at least on CNN, is saying that that they had an AR. But regardless, I mean, yeah, I wasn't born by. Yeah, you can say it was assigned female at birth. That's a good way of putting it, Max. But I made a video about explaining why I said it the way I did, why the misgendering was there, and I made a correction video talking about that. You know what? Doesn't matter. I could have worded it differently, and better. So I'm not worried about those types of things. I have seen the body cam footage. Yes, it was not a hate crime. Nobody likes to be more oppressed than Christians. Not all Christians, but some, because I am a Christian. But a lot of Christians love to try to be oppressed. White Christians love to try to be oppressed. A lot of them, not all. Not all. No, nothing has come out to say that the school was targeted because it was a Christian school. Nothing has come out to say that at all. Nothing's even alluded to that being the truth. Oh, you're welcome, Tiffany. When the manifesto comes out, which I'm sure it will, if that verbiage is in there, then I will correct that statement. But as of now, it's not. Just because you want to say it is doesn't make it so. Uh, I don't think they've come out with what the letters say yet. They've said that based on documents that they found. Greensboro, North Carolina. If I hit news for this, 11 hours ago. Yeah, okay. So we need to do. So I need to do a video on that. Is what you're saying. So, gotcha. Let him put in a video. I don't give a shit. Trying to read this. Or because I say it isn't doesn't make it so. I guess that's technically true. Except here's the thing: my saying it is based on the fact that nobody who has any type of authority or real knowledge has come out to say that it was a hate crime. Your knowledge is based on feelings. Mine is based on facts. So again, if the manifesto comes out and it says that it was targeted because it was a Christian school, then yes, that would absolutely make it a hate crime, 100%. But as of right now, that's not come out. Do I think it will be released? I do think it will be released. I do. I don't know when, but I think that it will be. They've started to release little bits and pieces of things, not very much. And as it continues to happen, I will continue to. It's definitely because of the shirt. The shirt that says "Don't argue with idiots on the internet," which, as you can see, I am not very good at. So I do want to. They did it. Well, yes, they did attend that school at one point, but there was apparently another target that they didn't go to because they said that this apparently the security was too high. Did I see that the pastor of the school was counseling the student? I did see that, Jens. That was actually not true. We did not have really any damage from the storm, Lisa. Thank you for asking. We were mostly okay. A little bit of debris and stuff in the yard. The person who said that they thought that the pastor was counseling the shooter walked that comment back. So it's just not true. But if it was true, I would totally tell y'all that. The only updates on Stephen Smith, as I'm guessing you're asking about, is the one that I posted yesterday where they have exhumed his body. There are Idaho updates. I actually need to get myself caught up on Idaho and Madeline McCann. I did do a little bit of Stephen Smith, and I have something I need to talk about with this. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and stop. I'm going to go ahead and pause and talk about a couple things with you guys on this after I answer Jade's thing. I want to talk about a couple things that's really important that I think that I want to share with y'all. Was it me or someone else that said the teammate tried to call crisis and stayed on hold for hours? I had mentioned that I made a video about that. So what happened? Okay, so here's what happened with the day of the incident here in Nashville, the Covenant School. I made that video, and that's kind of right. I think you're getting a little bit confused, but I'll go ahead and explain it to you. So basically, what happened is the shooter that morning, about 30 minutes before the shooting, messaged a former teammate saying that they were going to die today and basically suicide, and that you would see them on the news, and that everything would come out as to why. Which I'm guessing that's going to be the manifesto and stuff that was left in the shooter's car. What happened was immediately the person went and talked to their dad, like, hey, what should I do? The dad said, call the suicide hotline. So the teammate called the suicide hotline, was on hold for 7 minutes, which, look, if you're somebody who is suicidal, 7 minutes could be the difference between life and death. It's a very flawed, underfunded system. The suicide hotline, they came on and said to call the police. So they called the police non-emergency line because that's what they were told to do. At this point, obviously, this teammate did not know what was about to happen, right? They did not know. So the police then showed up several hours later. I think then at that point, they realized it was the same person. So that's kind of what happened with that situation. What's being reported? They're trying. Well, that person who was talking about the Pumped Up Kicks song. on the video that I did, that the one individual who I ended up blocking this evening kept saying this song glorifies school shootings, and I'm like, dude, no, it doesn't. I remember when that song came out. Mark Foster, and I challenge anybody to argue with me on music. I challenge anybody, but Mark Foster wrote that song in protest of gun violence and how easy it was for kids to have access to firearms. That's what it was written about. And if this individual wanted to Google search it, they could. So, anyways, this person has a vendetta against me, so I'm happy to report that too. Thank you. This shirt can be bought. Actually, this is one of the things I do affiliates with, so I'll come back and talk about that. So a couple things I want to chat with y'all about real quick that is coming up, because obviously this school shooting thing is very important. What's going on with Nashville is very important. The change is absolutely needed. Oh, thank you for that. Is needed, and I agree with that. But there are some cases that I have been neglecting because of it. One is I do owe you guys some updates on Brian Koberger in Idaho. I owe you guys some updates on the Madeline McCann, which I know a lot of people started following me over that. Updates on that. That is just an absolute shit show. Also, the Murdoch thing with Stephen Smith, which I did do an update video yesterday. The other things that I want to kind of pimp out for a moment here. One thing is I did finally launch a podcast. If you go to justinontiktok.com, you can get to it. You can get to it on Spotify. And I would encourage, the first episode is basically how we got there. It's called 50 Words for Murder. I do owe y'all an update because y'all follow me for some of these things. So leave it when it's still, because MSD. I'm going to come back to the song question in a second. So yeah, so please go follow the podcast. It's going to start getting interesting. The other thing, which originally my second podcast was going to be about, a little bit about Gabby Petito, which I think I'm going to table that and talk about a case, Grant Solomon. So if you don't already follow me, or you do follow me and like the true crime stuff, this is a case y'all need to follow me for. It is one that, think about it like the Murdochs to a degree, but basically the dad. Okay, I'm going to give you also, there's some extreme trigger warnings here real quick. We're going to talk about CSA for a moment, and we're going to talk about domestic violence. So if those are triggers for you, I would encourage you to do what you need to do for that. So this case, basically, Aaron Solomon was a local TV personality, an anchor in Nashville. His son Grant had just turned 18, and basically what happened was, as I understand it, is Aaron had been abusing his daughter from a very young age, like single digits age. Okay. And sounds like grape because of TikTok being her. Okay. And this girl very bravely at like 13, 14 wrote a letter about it and is speaking out again on it. Now, what happened was her brother Grant wanted to help her against their father. And he said when he turned 18 and was legal, he would do what he could to help. A month later, he turns up dead. He basically, the first time he was alone with his father, he had come up to, actually pretty close to where I live, come up for a baseball clinic that apparently never was scheduled ever, according to the place that would have done the clinic. It was the first time his father had been alone with him in a very long time, and he ends up dead where his truck mysteriously ran over him. And because of his influence and power, it got swept under the rug. The church hid it, made the girl stop talking about her sexual abuse, etc. So this is a case that I'm about to be talking about. So anyways, so let me talk about this real quick. So somebody asked me real quick about the song. I don't have a video of my podcast. I just have the podcast. Somebody asked me what song I was talking about. So I did a video because I was at Adulting Sucks. Love your name, by the way. Asked me earlier, what song was I talking about? So I did a video where I was at the protest today, and I put it to the music of Foster the People's Pumped Up Kicks, which is a song that came out in 2010. It's kind of an upbeat sounding song, but the lyrics are very dark, and it was written to be a statement, a protest, speaking out against gun violence and school shootings. That is what the song is about. And it starts off talking about a kid who going through his dad's things and finds his firearm and take it to school. And it's, the song's called Pumped Up Kicks. And the line is, you better run faster than, all the other kids with the pumped up kicks better run faster than my bullets. And it's obviously talking about a school shooting. The pumped up kicks is basically reference to like if y'all are me like who are old enough remember uh, like Reebok pumps. I actually have a pair of Reebok pumps still. Um, Pumped up kicks shoes. That's what it's about. So I have way too much on my plate. It's okay. I'm going back. I'm trying to report all the comments with screenshots of your comments. Screenshots of your comments to people saying the song is harmful. The song is not harmful. If people want to do a quick, yep, that's the one. Loves America. That's the one. That's this song that I remember that song came out. That's what it was about. That was about. Okay, I'm gonna talk to my YouTube people real quick because they're on here. I've seen so many trans folks say they don't think a domestic deserves their pronouns being. So one of my trans friends put it to me this way, and I know this is a very different situation. This is going back to because I asked one of my friends. I was like, "Look," because I'd already made the video, and I said, what are your thoughts on basically the fact that I misgendered them? And they said, "Look," um, they were like, this was this person's opinion. This person was like, "I don't like anything that Caitlyn Jenner stands for." But just because I don't like that the person doesn't mean that I won't respect the pronouns. And I was like, okay, that makes sense to me, which is one of the reasons why I made a correction video. That's the thing. I will always own my mistakes. I'm not going to hide from my mistakes. And if I do something wrong or I do something hypocritical or I say something wrong, I will own that and I will eat that. That is just what I do. That is who I am. Having a high level of integrity is important to me. And sometimes that means um, I have to take a step back and admit that I was wrong. So the thing is, legacy. You're looking at it? I don't know where it is. Do you really think that like they're gonna be able to build something on me? Well, thank you. Well, first of all, thank you for being a teacher. I know it's very hard for y'all to be doing what you're doing. The song Amber that we're talking about is "Pumped Up Kicks" by Foster the People. Anyways, these people wanted to argue with me about that particular song, and again, I challenge anybody to argue with me about music. I am a massive audiophile. I love music. I have a massive record collection. There used to be a time where there wasn't a song I couldn't tell you who it was by like the first beat. Now I can't do it as much as I used to, but yeah. Okay, yeah. If they can't really do anything, then I'm not going to overly concern myself with it. Yes, the song was meant to raise awareness. 100%. That's exactly what it was about. It was meant to raise awareness about it. Okay. Well, they're threatening to do it, so. But there's nothing I don't know if there's anything I can do to stop it. That's the issue. No, Julia's still waiting on the DNA test results back. I would imagine they're probably back pretty soon. Yeah, you can message me on here. Well, they're threatening to do it, but I mean, I just think I don't mind getting out in front of this. I don't. I would rather be, um, I would rather be. Oh my god, I cannot think what the hell's the word. Proactive versus reactive. I don't mind doing that. It's all on YouTube too. It'll be saved on YouTube. This conversation. People are trying to cancel me. That's what's happening. Will Koberger get out of this? They say DNA was compromised or something. I need to read a little bit more about that. I kind of ignored all of that this week with the school shooting. But I need to get myself caught up before I can make and answer you like intelligibly why. Yeah, so I'll tell y'all what happened because again, I don't mind owning my mistakes. So when all the school shooting stuff has been going on, one thing that I said because I'm a very transparent person with you all, with my lives, I don't really care. It is what it is. Is I mentioned that I mentioned and said that I own an AR because I do. Okay, I do. And when I purchased that weapon, um, I was a very different person than I am now. Um, me now would not have liked me then. We'll just put it that way. And the thing is, I don't want the weapon anymore. I would like to get rid of it. I would like to surrender it. But here's the problem. I called the police today, and if I surrender it to the police, they will just auction it off, which gets it back into the hands of somebody else. So I said tonight that I looked up, like maybe I could give it to the ATF, but people in my live, I'm still going to call the ATF tomorrow. People in this live basically said the ATF would just auction it off easier. I think it's just the filter and the lighting. I don't think I'm really, because if you look at me on YouTube, I'm not that red. Yeah, and that's what somebody said. Loves America says they sell them too. So then it's like, what do? I don't want it. The worst thing that I have an AR, yeah. Well, I would get rid of my AR. I see. Yeah. So yeah, I know exactly that comment saying that they care more about their guns than their kids. Yeah. The thing is, yeah, I don't disagree. The thing is, legacy. I don't disagree with that statement, which is why I'd like to get rid of mine. But at the same time, maybe a private security company. That's not a bad idea. Throw it at the bottom. Then it comes back. Maybe that's what you do. Throw it in the bottom of an ocean or something. The thing is, I don't disagree with that. I don't want it. But then, as Lisa just said, I don't know, Doug. I got to look into that, see if I can do that. I don't want the weapon anymore. At the same time, I don't want it to get sold. So I live in Tennessee, and I called the police to surrender it, and they said that they would eventually sell it. What they're saying, basically, Brianna, is that I'm a hypocrite. An iron worker. Okay, that's not a bad idea. The thing is, but here's the thing. Yeah, I got what you're saying. I get what you're saying. But then the question is, would their video get any traction? You know? So anyways, yeah, it's the one of the I think that it's a big testament that I'm trying to get rid of a weapon, and it is harder to get, like, it should not be this difficult to get rid of a weapon. It should not be this difficult. Yeah. I'm in Florida, and I legit just got rid of them now. 10 years later, I would have done it differently. Yeah, I get what you're saying. You're you're not why allowed to risk of getting it in the wrong hands. I would rather, yeah, it is locked up. It's locked up. It's actually never been shot. There's 500 people in the group. 500 people is not that many people. That wouldn't go anywhere on TikTok. 500 people. We're looking at a lake in the ocean, but the ocean would eat it. Yeah, I think that I should do that. That's actually a good idea. Because it shouldn't be this hard to get rid of a weapon. So, anyways, that's the truth. I don't want it. I don't want it anymore. Again, when I bought it, it was a very different situation. And so, hey, Liz in Tennessee. I'm in Tennessee also. Were you down at the Capitol today? I was down there. It might be safest in my care, but it doesn't mean that I don't want it, or that I still want it. What is that link to? I would probably get arrested being put in. Yeah, maybe so. Yeah, or illegal dumping. Yeah, I don't have a way to cut it up. Check with the National Guard. That's not a bad idea. I'm gonna go. Can I donate? What? Let me see that. Can I donate my? Oh, Lord. No, I don't think you can. I don't know if you can. I have to look into that. That's the thing, is I just don't want it to end up in somebody else's hands. Like, I know that I'm not going to do anything with it. Yeah, if you don't mind, Monkey, sure, please go for it. If it could go to you, can I donate weapons to Ukraine? I would do that. Donate weapon to Ukraine. Huh, there it is. To Ukraine. The RM-70. Okay, I can't donate. I can't donate a tank, guys. Uh, we do not accept payments. We only provide help. I don't know if you can. ALHC, what is that a link for? Your dad destroyed his own by putting liquid lead in the barrels and chamber. That's maybe not a bad idea. Yeah, law enforcement will option. Yeah, Google weapons coalitions maybe. I was in the National Guard. They won't take them. Okay, I figured because it's not really a military rifle or weapon. Start a movement to get AR-15s to our military. Like Kim, Florida to Ukraine. Oh, donate possibly. Okay, let me go back to the link you shared. I'm going to punch it in right now. rawtools.org/swords to plowshares. Turning guns into garden tools is at the center world of raw tools. It connects our. Oh, interesting. That's interesting. You know what? I like this. I think we found an answer. Yeah, well, these people decommissioned them. They decommissioned them. Let me see. Swords to plowshares. Make a garden tool for out of it. They disarm hearts and forge pieces during equality. The remain parts to make tools to. They light a detonated gun and raw tools and receive a garden tool from that gun for free. So we're gonna donate a gun. We're gonna do it. We're gonna fill out. You guys can watch me fill it out. Sorry, YouTube. I don't know if y'all can watch me fill it out. Maybe y'all can. You guys, okay? Actually, I can. I can share this screen, and then if you're on YouTube, you guys can watch me fill this out. Actually, no, because that's gonna have all my personal information. So actually, I'm not gonna do that because there are people who are trying to cancel me. So actually, I'm just gonna do it real quick. Hey, Dr. Rubin. We're gonna do this real quick. Going to one. I don't know the serial number. I have to get the serial number off of it. Okay, I'll do that later. Hey, Dr. Rubin. Okay, but yes, we're gonna get rid of it. We're gonna donate it. We're gonna do this. I got to get the serial number off of it, but we're gonna do that. I think that's a good idea. I'm gonna fill this out as soon as I get off this live. If it doesn't matter, the thing is, it doesn't matter if it's registered to me. I'll be able to. I'll have a paper trail that I donated it. Alyssa's asleep. She doesn't feel good. It'll have a serial. It'll be donated. It'll show that, and they're going to disable it. They're going to make it so it can't work. So, how many people? I would say there were a few thousand people at the protest today. Right now, we are talking. Well, nobody said that people were mature. One Moonbeam. A lot of people, here's the challenge. I speak out against a lot of things that people don't like that I speak out against them. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, I bought it in Tennessee. You don't have to register your firearms in Tennessee. But yeah, no, I'll get rid of it. I get a free garden tool from it. So that's kind of cool. So I have to take a picture of it. No, I love this. Whoever said, I can't remember if it was ALCH or ALHL, whatever your name was. Thank you for this idea. It's very easy to transfer these weapons. What organization are we donating to? It's called rawtools.org. There's ALHC77. Thank you. You are awesome. I would have never, Amy, your name's Amy. I would have never come across this if it wasn't for you. So, okay, so Dr. Rubens, basically, okay, I'll share with this with you. Um, basically, you know that you kind of know we're friends, so you know what I stand for and what I stand up against. In a live, because I'm a fairly transparent person, as all the school shooting stuff's been going on, I mentioned, because I'm a transparent person, that I have an AR-15, because I do. At the same time, I don't want it anymore because of everything that's happened. So the last today, well, so number one, somebody is trying to cancel me over it because I made the comment, which I totally mean this comment. I still mean it even with me owning one, that if you want to have that gun and keep it, you value, you know, metal over a child's life. And I want to get rid of mine. So I called the police today and I said, hey, you know, what do I do if I need to take it? Um, no, nobody knows what the real meaning of AR is, Jason. I don't think people think it means assault rifle. It does not. Um, and basically, I called the police and they said, well, eventually they would auction it off. I obviously don't want it to go into the hands of somebody else. And so I was trying to, so I was like, well, maybe I could donate to the ATF. And somebody said, no, ATF donate or auctions them off also. So one of my wonderful followers in here, Amy, sent me a link to something, and I went to it, and it's called Raw Tools, and you can donate them a firearm to them. They disable it, and they will turn it into a garden tool or garden tools made from it. So I think that's pretty cool, and that's what I'm going to do. Armalite, that's right. I don't believe I said, maybe, I mean, I don't know if I said that or I didn't say that. I don't remember saying that, but if they say I said that and they have proof, then maybe I did say that. But it's very out of context because the biggest reason is I don't want to sell it to a pawn shop, and you can't just give it to. But I'm going to make a video about it. What are the Idaho updates? I have been so entrenched in what's happened in Nashville in the last week. I don't think Legacy is part of it. I think Legacy is trying to help. Well, maybe I'm wrong. When will the manifest? Oh yeah, for the question for the Idaho, I need to get myself updated on the Idaho stuff and then make you guys some videos. Well, but here's the thing. Part of it, well, maybe so. Part of it though is, I mean, they're not wrong. You know, it is hypocritical for me to keep it, and I don't want it. So I'm gonna get rid of it. No, that's not why I'm donating it. They can say whatever they want. That's not why I'm donating it. Because frankly, I could just lie and say that I'm donating it or that I'm doing something. They can say that if they want. I don't really care because I don't have to say anything. I don't owe anybody explanations. Frankly, I could have come on here and not said anything about it. But I know I don't owe them an explanation. But I'm still going to get rid of it because I don't want it. I mean, Legacy has been telling me everything that they're saying, so I'm more inclined to believe them because they can't. Haley, you missed me talking about Grant. Because here's the thing, I'm not worried about a handful of people canceling my account. I'm really not worried about it. I don't think the video would get any type of traction. It's okay. We're going to continue talking about it. I don't think a video would get. I'm not turning this against you. I said that I don't. I told you that I believe you. Is what I'm saying. I believe that you're on. I believe that you're trying to help. I said Legacy. I said that I believe that you're trying to help. No, I haven't made the video since I've been with you. Oh, okay. Sorry. I think Legacy's trying to help. But anyways, no, it has nothing to do with them. It has nothing to do with them. I don't care. I don't think that they could. I think that they could attempt to cancel me and their video would fizzle out because there's a lot of important things I do on here. And me making a comment one time about an AR-15 is not going to be what takes me out. I don't think. Um, because I do a lot of other important work. And if people want to, you're buying off the website Raw Tools to donate. Awesome. I'm going to do a video on them. So Jason, people have asked me about that. I've heard about the ice cream comment that he made, but I've actually not heard it myself or seen it. I kind of really didn't, and this isn't one way or the other towards Joe Biden. I just really didn't care what he had to say because I live in Nashville. I cared more about what local news and our representatives had to say. So that's what I was really paying more attention to. Yeah, I try. Yeah, if I do something wrong, I'll own up to it. And I agree. And the other thing, Alyssa and I talked about it. I agree. Her and I don't want it anymore. And so we're gonna donate it. Like I said, when I get off this live tonight, I will finish filling out this form, get the serial number, put it back in its safe, and till they come get it, and I'll get rid of it. Yes, Olivia did phenomenal videos on Grant. Yeah, I've heard not good things about the speech. I've heard that it was it was not good. I don't know if there was a hot mic issue, but regardless, it's not. It wasn't. I hear that it was in very poor taste. That's what I understand. Jen, what are you asking? I know I'm kind of all over the place. What are you asking about specifically? You can going back, looking at them real quick here. So Diana, if you donate to the police department, they just donate it, or they auction it off. Oh, what am I donating? I'm getting rid of my AR-15 because I don't want it anymore because it's the gun that's used in primarily all school shootings or mass shootings. So yes, I'm getting rid. I'm donating it to a company. He did a whole bit. Gotcha. To a company called Raw Tools, and they will disarm it, dismantle it, and disable it and turn it into something cool. No, Lisa, there's no updates on that as of this. I mean, there are updates, but nothing on DNA. I don't believe she's going to be Madison. Yeah, and that's the thing. I loves America. You've been here for a while, so you know how I feel about this. But I don't want it to go um, into somebody else's hands. What is all the news about Tennessee legislator craziness from school incident all about? Oh my God, Doug, it is insane. For those of y'all who haven't seen the videos, like what they're doing in Tennessee to the Democrat legislators is really, in my opinion, criminal. It goes against democracy in every way, shape, or form. Yeah, let them do it. Let them do it. You watch it all, not clips. It was very tacky and embarrassing for our nation. Okay, I don't know what we're talking about. Yeah, sorry. Us veterans gave, yeah, absolutely. That's the thing. It's the right. I don't want any more, and I appreciate you, Jason, for that. Now that doesn't mean I'm getting rid of all of. I have other firearms. I have like handguns too. I'm not getting rid of those, but I am going to get rid of the AR. Is there a court date set for Coburger? Sorry to be part of your ADD. No worries. It is June. I forget June what at this moment. So let me see. Coburger, June. Something. Where is it? June 26th. Thank you. You guys always keep me here. June 26th. Yep, I just saw it here too. I'm sure there's mods here. Nobody's being cool. I actually need to go through and clean out some mods so I can add some people back in. I need to do that. So, will that be the date they give evidence? No, that's going to be the date that he enters a plea, and then from there they'll probably set another court date. But there are some Coburger updates I need to get like the specifics on, and then make a video on that. Thank you, Lisa. Yeah, I will add you back to that once I do that. Do you hear about the rodent trial from Ohio? A family were killed. I did not hear about that at all, and that seems like that's pretty big. Like, see, everybody's being respectful in here, even if you don't like, I know that a lot of y'all talk about Biden and stuff like that. I will look it up. That seems like that should be all the news. Even if people don't like Biden, they're being respectful about the way that they're talking about it. And you know what? That is their right to not like him. And if you do like him, that's also your right. So anyway. Well, I think I might call it for the night, but here is things that I want to do for housekeeping. Please follow me or make sure you pay attention to, at least for the Grant Solomon story that we're getting ready to do. I'll get you guys updates on the other things as well. I like the idea of making a video on how difficult it is to unload a firearm. Is there new Ethan Crumbly news? Because I definitely need an update on that. You guys know I'm not going to give y'all a reaction to Trump or Biden's stuff. Y'all know that I'm not going to do that, right? Oh, thank you, Jason, for the follow. And by the way, I should have said this earlier. Thank you, Jason, for your service. What branch were you in? If you don't mind sharing, if you don't feel comfortable, that's totally okay. Anyways, I think you're talking in Pennsylvania. You mean New Jersey? I owe y'all a Madeline McCann update too, but I don't think that Julia. I mean, Julia's not Madeline McCann. I don't think that. 13 parents left him alone to go out and drink. He didn't have a prayer as a child. Yeah, I need to do something. I'll do a video on that tomorrow too. 17 years in Indiana. Oh, you're a national. Oh, you mentioned earlier that you're National Guard. I'm sorry. Yeah. Well, thank you for your service. I was born a Hoosier, by the way. So the crumbling news, apparently, I'm just looking at the headlines, is that well, one, he's going to be going to trial. That was a week ago, but apparently a neighbor spoke out and said he didn't have a prayer as a child. Basically, his parents would just go out and leave him and go out and get drunk, etc. So okay, you guys gave me lots of stuff to look at. Any news on the Murdoch case? Yeah, so Crazy Stitch Girl. I made an update on that yesterday. There were two updates on that. One is I mean, the nuts and bolts. If you want to go watch the whole video, please go back and watch the video. It shouldn't be that far back. But they exhumed Stephen Smith's body, and Alex was moved into protective custody at a different prison. Those are kind of the big updates on Murdoch for the moment. Oh, I was born in Fort Wayne. But my buddy says not to ever admit I was born in Fort Wayne and says I was born just south of Auburn. No, I'm not. I'm not sunburned. It's just the lighting or the filter that I have on. Let me see if I can. I don't know how to get rid of filters. It's just the filter I have on or whatever. Oh, you're 2 hours away. Nice. Why was he moved? For his safety? For his safety. I about the mother who killed 3 kids and tried herself. Yeah, I haven't heard updates on that one either lately. I haven't heard. I know who you're. That's what I got. I'm blanking on names right now because my brain's so fried. But I know who you're talking about. I did videos on that. You did 22 years as a volunteer firefighter. Man, you're a good dude. No, it's just a bad. Let me. I don't know if I can change. Can I change a filter here? What do I have on here? I'm getting ready to go anyways, but I don't know how to change it. Let's go to. No, that's even worse. Good God. There we go. That's not as bad. There's a lot of stuff that I need to get caught up on myself before I give you guys updates. I've seen little bits of headlines, but I don't trust headlines by themselves. I need to look at a little bit more. All right, y'all. I'm going to run. Like I said, I've launched a podcast. If any of y'all are interested in that, you can go to justinontiktok.com to listen to it. And yeah, so anyways, you guys have a great night. I appreciate everyone who's sticking up for me. I'm like I said, we're gonna get rid of this thing, and if I have to apparently do a video on it, then I will do a video on it. So, but and I will tell her thank you, Doug. You guys have a good night, and I will be back probably at some point tomorrow. Bye, guys. And YouTube, same with y'all. We will see you guys soon.